our channel. If you're new here, I am Agus and it's finally November, so I wanted to do a little book recommendation video because this is the perfect season. Like, I know winter isn't here yet, but this is the perfect season to cuddle up with a book inside and drink a hot chocolate. So I just wanted to give you guys a list of my favorite books to read and just cuddle up with that are perfect for the season in my opinion. And most of them are fantasy because I'm a really big fantasy reader. So I just wanted to say that as a disclaimer. But let's begin with the most obvious list, I guess, or pile, which is the Harry Potter series. I personally think that they are the perfect Christmassy read. I don't really know exactly why we relate Harry Potter to Christmas, whether it's because of the Christmas scenes and chapters or because there's snow. It just looks cold constantly. It just feels like that, but I don't know. For some reason we relate it to Christmas and I think it's perfect. Whether this is your first time reading the series, I feel like it's a great time to start because winter is quite long and it's 7 books, so you'll have plenty of stuff to read. Or maybe if you've already read it and you want to just reread one of the whole series, I think it's just a perfect choice. And I'm sure most people have heard about what Harry Potter is about, but the best way I can describe Harry Potter is about a young boy who discovers he's a wizard and has to fight dark forces. Yeah, that's with no spoilers, but I'm sure most people know about Harry Potter. But anyways, I feel like that is a very safe start. Also, I forgot to tell you guys that at the end of the video, I'm going to show you my TBR. It's really small because I'm quite a slow reader, so it's just 2 little things, or not little things, 1 series and another thing. Well, I'll tell you later, but it's just my TBR. It's small. Then let's continue. Of course, I feel like Little Women, and look at this edition. It's not the whole book, sadly. I realized it after I bought it. It's just the first half of the book. But Little Women is the perfect family Christmassy book, and it follows the story of 4 young women and that are sisters and kind of their lives and their romances and everything, and it's just absolutely beautiful and so, what would you call it, like heartwarming and wholesome. And I just think it's perfect because it's kind of like a family read, and Christmas is family time or usually related to it, so I think Little Women is perfect if you're into romance and if you're into coming of age books and just, yeah, amazing characters. Then if you are into very short stories, I would definitely recommend reading Alice in Wonderland. This is very short and it is a children's book, but I personally loved it, and it's a classic, and it follows the adventures of a girl falling down a rabbit hole and everything she finds in this new wonderful world. It's pretty cool. Of course, again, there are many movies, there are many stories, so we kind of all know Alice, but I feel like it's a classic and it's a good one. Magic, I don't know. Alice in Wonderland is great. Then, another thing that I have to recommend is if you have not read the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, I 100% recommend it any time of the year. It's my favorite series of all time, and the way that I would try and describe it in one sentence without spoiling anything is about a girl. I just don't know how to describe it in one sentence. So the way I would describe ACOTAR in one sentence, I mean, it's kind of impossible because it's so big, but I would say maybe that it's about a girl that is dragged over a wall where all her enemies and everything she fears lies, and she has to find a way to, well, save the world. And there's so much more. I feel like that doesn't even encompass it, but that is the easiest way to say it. And there are fairies, there is spells, there is lots of fighting, lots of romance, and spies. So if you're into those things, fairies, romance, spies, and action, this series is for you. But if you have read the series, I 100% recommend rereading these 2 books, which are Mist and Fury, which is the second one, and I'm not going to say what this is about because it will spoil the first book, but again, 100% recommend the whole series. But if you've read it, you know, I don't know, it's because of that city that it just feels Christmassy to me. I just think it's the perfect reread. I literally just finished rereading it. I love it. And then this one, it's a novella, and it's not even counted as part of the 1 to 4 books, but it is kind of a little bridge between books 3 and 4, and it happens around Christmas time. So I think this is the perfect read, and it's super short, but I don't recommend reading it if you haven't read the series, because you will feel no attachment to the characters, and they are amazing. And in this book, you really get to know them quite a lot. So definitely recommend rereading these two if you've already read Akatar, and if not, go ahead and start it, because I promise it's amazing. I have this book recommendation that in the beginning it took me a really long time to get into, if I'm honest, just because it's not the classic stuff that I read, and I was expecting something else. It's called The Midnight Library, and as you can see from the cover, in my head I thought this was gonna be about a woman that went to a library and got to travel to different worlds, and that was perfect to me. Turns out I should have read the description inside, which I didn't. I was 100% sold by the cover. It was not what I was expecting, and how I could describe it is that it's about a woman that is struggling through life and finds this library that's kind of a bridge between life and death, and she gets to live different lives, let's put it like that. And why do I put this book in the Christmassy winter pile? Because I feel like by the end of the year, we are always questioning our choices, and we're kind of thinking back on the year. What did we do? What did we not do? And where are we going? And I feel like this book talks a lot about life choices and regret and feeling thankful. So it's not my classic read, and I probably will not reread this. It's just not my favorite type of book, but I think it has a really good message. So I feel like it's the perfect time of year when we are kind of questioning our own choices, which is usually around the end of the year. So yeah, I think that's how I would describe this book, but it's good, it's interesting. And last but not least in my book recommendations is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I love this author, and he is so good at getting into people's minds, I would say, into his characters' minds, and when he writes from their point of view, it's insane. You might know him as the person that wrote Coraline. He's written Good Omens. He's got really good famous stuff out there, but this one is a little fantasy book, and it is about this guy that is in love with a girl, and he wants to gift her a star. So he goes on an adventure, and that's all I'll say about it. It is not really long either, and there's a movie about it. I think it's on Netflix, and it's very cute. I think this is a great one, and again, I think I relate it to Christmassy because of the stars, and I don't know, just kind of like that. I don't know, I just love it. It's very good. Regarding my TBR, I have two things. I am starting the Throne of Glass series, which is written by Sarah J. Maas, who is also the author of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I love this so much, and I've also read her other series, Crescent City, so I'm really excited to start this one. I'm so excited. I cannot even begin to tell you. So I'm starting this one literally tomorrow. And then in my TBR is a fanfic called All the Young Dudes, which follows the life of the Marauders from Harry Potter. And it is a fanfic, so I think it's online. I only looked it up today, so I need to figure out exactly like if I found the correct link. But I'm excited to read that because I've seen on TikTok so many people talk about it. So that's what I will be reading. Those are my book recommendations to cuddle up in the sofa with a little blanket and a hot cocoa. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what you'll be reading this winter, or just in general. I feel like TBRs can be quite long. Like, I have more books that I want to read, but for now that's what I'm just focusing on. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you very soon. Bye!